Okay, so uh, as the start of this channel, maybe it would be logical for me to start with the journey and of how I actually ended up being Muslim. So from where should I start? I would say that it was a very long and deep journey for me, because when I was, how much was I? 10 maybe a bit more. My beautiful sister, I already told about her in my pilot episode. If you don't know her, then you should go back to the pilot episode, and somewhere here there should be, I guess people are doing this, somewhere here, either here or here, there should be a link to my previous episode. Anyways, my beautiful sister, she started praying. And me, as a small girl that always took and always will be taking my sister as her role model, immediately was like, I will be starting praying as well. I will do this, I will do that. And I was so sure that I need to start right now, right there. And I was too small, so I had to consult about that with my mom. And my mom told me something that might be wrong if you listen to traditional Muslim rules, but she told me that you are too small for such an important decision, and you might be acting out of your emotions. So maybe it would be better if you wait a bit, and if you make sure that this decision is your mature decision. And of course I followed her advice, even though back then I thought that she, like, no, I should start and you're not letting me, and I was so mad. But then things got more peaceful, and I'm like, okay. And then I believe the other thing that really affected my journey was the passing away of my grandfather, not grandfather, my grandfather. And that was the first time where I experienced the death of someone that is close to me. And it wasn't something shocking for us because he was sick for a long time, so it wasn't a surprise. However, I was in my 8th grade, so I was around 6 plus 8, around 14 years old, so it was a bit shocking for me, even though I was fully aware of whatever is happening, but to comprehend this was a bit hard. And I remember that when he was still sick, I was seeing my sister and my aunts reading du'as to him, and that was the first time when I felt like I want to learn a du'a as well. And I remember I was asking my sister to share with me those du'as so I can learn them and I can also read them to him, hoping that he will get better. And I know that for most of the people, when they experience the death of someone close to them, they actually get distance from religion and from God, because they feel like God is making something unfair to them and he is taking a person from them that they love so much, and how could God make them pass through so much pain. And I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of stories how actually the death of the beloved one made people distance. However, I am really grateful that in my case the situation was completely different, and all of those things happening made me actually feel the maximum connection with God that I've ever felt in those 14 years of my life. And I won't go like much in details about whatever was happening, but I remember giving a promise to myself that I will not start praying as long as I don't feel the same level of connection that I feel with religion when I felt like that level that I felt back then. So I promised myself that the moment, the situation when I felt the same level of connection or more, I will start praying and there will be no excuse for me. And I was kind of going like, I was living with this idea in my mind, and God and religion and praying. I was fasting for a long time, like from my childhood, and I was doing all the small things, but I wasn't doing one of the most important things, which is praying. And so what I want to say is that I wasn't ever very much away from religion, but I wasn't doing one of the most important things in religion as well. So yeah, this is like one part of my life. And then after I got in university and I started living abroad from my family, I moved in to another country, to another place. Of course it was challenging. It's challenging for everyone that ever experienced such thing, and all my heart and all my support is with you if you're going through this right now. I just want you to know that you're not alone, and even if you feel like you are, God is definitely there looking at you. Anyway, so basically when I got in the university, there were many different events that I'm not gonna go in details. I'm not gonna go, like, I don't want to cover those things, but the situations that made me experience judgment from people's sides, and that made me look like that made me wrongly feel like I am a bad Muslim. Which is basically the point of judgment. That's why God really didn't let anyone to judge others, because only He can judge, and only He knows what is in a person's heart, which is the most important thing. So these were the moments when I was feeling low, because I was feeling like I am not enough, religion-wise. But I am just really grateful to God for making me pass through this as well, because only after I passed it I realized that this was just part of the story. This was part of the very big journey that I ended up having. So as I said, I was always feeling really close to God, and I was always feeling that God is around me, because for me, God is love. And any form of love, let it be love to the cat you see outside, let it be the love you feel towards, a cleaning lady that you just said kolay gelsin and passed by. Everything, every small act of kindness, of love towards others is His projection and has His part, which is really touching as well, because it makes you actually love everything around you. Anyways, I'm all again going away from the topic. So basically, after all of those events, I believe it was I don't want to go in details about my second year. I don't think there was so many details that really affected my religious life. But basically what happened in my third year, it was actually crazy. So in my third year in university, I started feeling this urge, this like pushing feeling in myself that I need to start praying. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what is the scientific explanation of it, but I started feeling like I should do something. I should become closer with God because He wants me to become closer with Him. And I remember that the beginning of my third year, it was really challenging for me because there were many events and there were many things, and I mostly spent my time alone, and I had a lot of chance to think about things that actually are so important. And again, I started feeling that I need to start praying, and I need to start doing something about it. And basically what happened is that even before I started learning the du'as for prayers, and I started getting closer to it. And what was happening for a few consecutive days was that I was waking up for the morning namaz. And for those that are not involved, not involved, but for those who are not, who doesn't know about that, there are 5 mandatory prayers in Islam, and one of those prayers is before sunrise. So basically I was casually sleeping, and for a few days in a row I was waking up like 10-15 minutes before the end of the prayers. It was a strong feeling that I missed the prayers, even though I didn't start the prayers yet. So I didn't start praying, but I started waking up, and I started feeling this stress in myself, in my chest, that I missed the prayers, And I was waking up, and only after waking up I was realizing that I haven't started praying yet. Like I missed something that I was missing all of those time because I haven't started. Why do I feel this feeling right now? And all of such events, I started seeing them as signs from God that, khalas, Huma, you need to start. And the connection, like, do you remember I told you that I promised that I will not start as long as I don't feel the same level of connection? I started feeling the same level of connection after all of that. And I even remember that once I woke up in the morning and I heard azan. I am so sure that I heard azan. And I woke up because I heard it, but there is absolutely no way that I can hear it in my dorm because the closest masjid is the one in the West Campus, and there is no way that I would hear it from main campus. But I actually heard it, and I believe that was one of the last drops for me to start praying. And that was basically my journey, and that was basically how I started praying. I remember my sister, she was so helpful. She recorded me full, 10 minutes introductions and explanations of how I should pray, how I should bend, what words I should say, what hands I should be doing, everything. She explained everything in so much detail, and I hope she gets so much reward for this. And then I also talked with my cousin, because these are 2 people from my family that are praying, and it was really important for me to share this with them. And basically that was how I started praying in my 3rd year. And whenever you just start praying, whenever you are very new to this journey, there is a saying that it's believed that God is... because you just started it and you need a lot of support from Him, it is believed that God is giving you a lot of signs, and He makes you feel Him in your life. And I would like to share some of the things that happened to me, that I experienced, that made me feel and see him in my life. But I would also like to mention that actually that was something that my cousin told me after I told her one of those stories. She told me that actually God is giving such signs and being above every person on this planet, making every person on this planet making every person on this planet feel him. But sometimes our hearts get so closed to feel this. And just because our hearts are so pure whenever we just enter Islam, because as you know, whenever you enter Islam, all of your sins are forgiven. Just because our hearts are so pure, we see them in the beginning, but then they get a bit blind to those things, and you may stop feeling them. And that's one of the ideas why I decided to do this journey, to do this channel, because I really don't want to stop seeing those signs, because this connection is absolutely insane. It gives you so much power and so much faith and so much insurance that everything is according to God's plan. So basically, I need to do something with me, going from topic to topic. I'm learning with you guys, so yeah. Anyways, so I would like to share one story that happened with me in the beginnings of this journey. So basically, I was having a very hard semester in my third year. I was having 7 classes, and all of them were very demanding, and I was spending a lot of time on my classes. And I was having a very limited amount of time left for other things, and it was making me feel very, again, like, it makes you feel as if you're a bad Muslim just because you're not following the rules that you were told to follow, which of course is true, but sometimes, at least that's like what I believe in, is that God knows your heart and He sees your intention. So throughout my life, I will be focusing on this, on the intention and on the deep connection I feel in my heart. So anyways, I was having a lot of exams and I was studying for them a lot, and I really had the feeling that I want to go and pray in the masjid. I really want to go to mosque and pray there. And I was gonna do it on the Friday of, like, let's say week 1, and then because of the classes, because of the deadlines, I couldn't go, and I was feeling really bad for this, because one part of me is saying, Humay, there is nothing more important than this, than going to the mosque and praying, and then the other part is saying, Humay, but you can also pray in your dorm, but you have so many deadlines, you cannot fit them in if you go. And this battle was inside of me, and I ended up not going, and I was feeling very bad because I felt like I lost the battle. So 1 week passed, again it's Friday, and I was like, no, today I'm going to the mosque. I got ready, I left, I went to the mosque. It was it's not that far away from the neighbor campus that we have, from the West Campus. So I went there and I entered the place, and for those who has ever prayed in the mosque in Turkey, you probably know that it's like, usually for women, the entry is different, and usually for women the conditions are a bit worse as well, because mostly men go to the mosques and mostly they pray in the mosques publicly. So I came to this mosque, and I tried to enter it, and I saw that the door is closed, and I saw that there is no one responsible there, no one working there from whom I could ask to... Do I have something here? From whom I could ask to open the door and help me. And I felt so lost and so bad and so abandoned at that second, because I was like, I couldn't come last week, and I came now, and I was so willing to pray. Why did God do this to me? Why was the mosque closed? How can a mosque be closed? Why doesn't He let me pray today? And all of this happening in my head. And I sat there on the branch in the mosque, and I was feeling so sad, and I was crying my tears out, thinking that I am a bad person for not coming last week and everything, and all of this like just bursting out of me. And exactly the second when I was supposed to like give up and stand up and start going back to my dorm, a cat ran to me. She ran to me and she didn't let me go. And she sat on my knees, and I started petting her. And at that moment I thought, maybe that's from God. Maybe God sent her to me to make me feel better, because He knows in my heart that I really wanted to pray in this mosque, you know. And this cat came to me, and I started petting her and loving her, and I was crying and petting her, and then she made me feel better. And I was like, okay, maybe that's how God shows me that I am not alone. And then when I try to start going, she's not letting me go. She stands by my legs. She doesn't let me move. She starts like calling me, and I just cannot leave. And then like I finally stood up, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I need to go. There is no way that I can enter. A car drives in the mosque. It enters the mosque, and I see that the guy is leaving with like a Muslim hat on his head. And at that point, everything got so clear to me. Everything got so clear to me that my patience was being checked. That I will leave, or I will stay, or I will get mad at God, or I will thank God, or whatever happens. That this cat was sent to me to make me stay for a bit, to remind me that you need to be patient sometimes, and you need to wait. And then this guy came, he parked in, and I'm looking at him fully shocked by everything that happened. And I'm looking at him, my eyes are red because I just cried, and I'm like, I really wanted to pray. I really came to pray, but the mosque was closed, and I got so sad. I'm so happy that you came to open it, because he was the one working there. And I had experience before when people in mosque, like working in mosque, they were a bit biased towards women coming, because I don't know, because their head was not covered, because they were looking not the way they should look, maybe in their eyes. And I had many situations when I was judged by those people, and I just really hope that this person wouldn't be like this specific guy. And he starts answering me, and I see in his voice and in his acts that he is completely different. He's like, you know, people usually come and they use the bathroom for wudu, and they come in the mosque and they do some very bad things. That's why we had to close it. I'm really sorry. I'm really happy that you waited. And it felt like God sent him to me, and it felt like God sent the cat to me. And he opened the place for wudu. I took wudu. I went to pray. And the mosque was so beautiful, and I felt so connected to it while praying, especially after such thing happened. And it's absolutely insane, and it makes you feel affected, and it like the effect it has, such situations on you, they stay with you for a bit, but then they leave you, because we are human beings that tend to forget things. And I remember I was telling the situation to my cousin, and that's when she told me that God is actually always by our side. It's just on us if we can see it or if we're not. So this was one of the insanest situations that happened when I felt God so deeply in me. And it's a 25 minutes video. I just wanted to share this because that was the beginning basically of the journey. And I would also like to mention one more thing, that after probably like 1 week or 10 days after I started praying, God gifted me one of the best people in my life. That I'm so grateful for, and that I don't know what I would do without that person. And it also makes me think that it was kind of a reply from him. And it's really touching, and it's really emotional for my soul as well. But this, I guess, will be the beginning or how it all started, I would say. So yeah, that's it for this episode. And I guess I will record a few more today because I feel like talking. You guys are very inviting and welcoming. So yeah, that's it. I hope you feel close with this story. Love you guys. Bye bye.